Hi, Tony Scelzo here. We're at the Bob and we were talking about leadership this morning, and I use this analogy to really work with our area directors that I really feel like connected to them on what we're trying to do when we're trying to create change or we're trying to get an organization to go after a goal. And I think what is hard to balance as a leader is in order to be a great leader, there was a recent study done on about 1,000 CEOs. And what they found out is that there were two types of CEOs that really were successful in organizations. Now, the first type of CEO was called a lamb. A lamb was the type of person that would go around, lie down with everybody, gain consensus, find out everybody's general feedback, determine what the general feedback is where people wanted to go, and then also set a plan in order to make that happen, make everybody feel good about where they were going. Those type of CEOs were successful about 54% of the time. And that's a pretty good ratio as it goes. I mean, if you were successful 54% of the time in, let's say, the baseball, you would easily make it in the major leagues. Now, they had a different type of CEO, and that CEO was a cheetah. Now, the cheetahs were successful 100% of the time. Now, that's not a rounding error. Everyone in the study, over 1,000 people in the study, over 400 cheetahs were successful when they were fast, focused, aggressive, held people accountable to a high standard, were incredibly demanding on their people, but were incredibly giving in what they were asking people to do to transform towards a change. And one of the things that Larry, Kevin, and I always talk about, in order to be a transformational leader, you have to be incredibly demanding and incredibly caring. And what I use to help people get to understand this is where you are now. And then this is where your goal is. A lot of times what you're trying to do is get everyone aligned behind you, and you're trying to get them to lead toward this path. And what happens is people start to vary in their path as they're going. Now, if you catch them early because you've got a strategy of repetition and reinforcement, it's easy to bring them back here. And basically what you're just doing is realigning them to the mission and vision of the organization. But what happens a lot is we allow people to get way over in left field. And when they get way over there, bringing them back to the line that is the goal and mission of the organization is almost like you're ripping them back in place. And both players will avoid the conflict. And because both players avoid the conflict, it gets further and further and further away. And then usually what has to happen is somebody needs to go away. Either the mission, the vision of the organization has to change, and that normally doesn't, or the player has to change. And what I think is very powerful about understanding alignment is that there are two tools that you have if you're going to be incredibly focused, incredibly aggressive, that you're going to be fast, is you got to be patient, because not patient in the sense that you're going to allow people to get way off base, but you're going to have to be very patient because you're going to repeat yourself a lot. You're going to say the vision and the mission of the organization over and over and over. Because what you have to do is allow people to align themselves to the goal. Allow them to get back on where you want to go, what you want to have happen in order to achieve what you want to get done. This goal has to be bigger than you. Now, the reason we always talk about why in an organization is in order to get you to repeat something over and over, it's got to be powerful, because we all wear out. We get tired of saying the same thing. And if the why in you and what you're trying to get done is the mission and vision of your organization isn't big enough to accomplish what you want to accomplish, you tend to wear down, you stop repeating yourself, and then you stop really reinforcing the behavior that you want to have. So if you're trying to get something done and you need other people to follow you, and you need their efforts and their energy and their heart and what's in between their ears in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish, you want to make sure that you have a goal that's big enough to get everybody engaged, a why that's powerful enough to get everybody on board. And then in order to keep them on board, you got to be willing to repeat yourself often and to reinforce the behavior that you want to have happen. Stay patient, move fast, be aggressive, be focused, and you can get done what you need to get done.